Welcome to all. Myself Sita Lakshmi, second MSc Biology, St. Mary's College, Thrissur. Today we're discussing about the structure and function of mitochondria and plastid. Let's move on. Mitochondria. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell because all the activities will take place with the help of the energy, and the energy molecule is released by the oxidative phosphorylation processes in the intermembrane space of the mitochondria. So, the mitochondria is considered as the powerhouse of the cell, and it first recognized by Calker, and the credit of the discoveries goes to W. Fleming and R. Altman because the W. Fleming is discovered the thread-like structure, and the Altman is discovered the granules. But in the term mitochondria is used by Bender, so the term is introduced by Bender. And the first is evidence of mitochondria in plant cell is discovered by F. Mavis in Nymphaea. Let's move the ultrastructure. An ultrastructure. Mitochondria is double-walled. They have two-walled and filled banks, and it is found in human cells and aerobic bacteria. But the RBC is not contain mitochondria. Then the structure. Looking through the structure, the mitochondria have four membranes: outer membrane, inner membrane, and the intermembrane space and matrix. These are the four structures, main compartment, the compartment of the mitochondria. So the outermost layer, that is the outer membrane. Outer membrane, this is the outer membrane of the cell, this one. And the outer membrane is permeable to certain ions or small molecules, and it is uh, specific for certain ions and molecules. And the second compartment is the intermembrane space, and it is the composition similar to the cytosol. So the cytoplasmic composition is take place in this intermembrane space, and the main function of the mitochondria is the energy release, and this process will take place in the inner membrane space. And these are the inner membrane space. And uh, and the third compartment is the inner membrane. The respiratory chain proteins, these are containing in the inner membrane space, and it is folded into multiple cristae, and these are the cristae. This is folded into cristae shape and allow large surface area. Uh, then the fourth compartment is the matrix, and the matrix is this one. This one is the matrix, and the matrix is most metabolic reactions will take place in that area. And the DNA, the most of the DNA is found in the matrix in the form of nucleoid. You all know that the green color is the DNA strand, and these are this DNA strand is present in the matrix of the mitochondria. So these are the main four compartments: outer membrane, inner membrane space, and inner membrane. Then the matrix, and the inner membrane is convoluted, the fold consisting of double membrane called cristae, and there is the cristae shape in animals, and the unfolding tubular in plants is known as tubular or microvilli. These are the two features between the animals and the plants. The animals is contain cristae and the plants will contain tubular or microvilli. And what are the functions of mitochondria? Okay, functions essential for the aerobic metabolism. And the main function of the mitochondria is the oxidative phosphorylation, and the in using the carbohydrate and the phosphate group, and the oxidative phosphorylation processes take place and produce the energy. And there's four major complexes of the oxidative phosphorylations are located in the mitochondrial inner membrane space. Then involved in several metabolic pathway, Krebs cycle, beta oxidation, synthesis of ion sulfur clusters, etc., and maintain, replicate, and transcribe their own DNA. Uh, in looking in the pictures, there are the green colored, that is the DNA, the mitochondrial DNA. The mitochondrial DNA will replicate or transcribe. This process is take place uh, in the mitochondria. This is their own DNA is replicate and transcribe and translate into mRNA to protein. From the protein is the functional, and the function will be take place and impart the assembly of protein and remolding of mitochondrial network. Any damages occur and it may be remolded. And additional role apoptosis in, that is the programmed cell death, and production of reactive O2 species, calcium hemostasis, and immunity. These are the additional roles of mitochondria. And let's move to the next one, plastid. Plastid is uh, similarly structurally similar to the mitochondria, and we mitochondria is very important for the animal cells, and the plastidin is very important for the plant cell. Okay, plastid. Plastid, the term is derived from the Greek word plasticas, formed or molded. And the term plastid is used by Schimber, AFW Schimber. And depending upon the presence and absence of the pigment, Schimber classified in the plastids into three, that are the colorless, that is leucoplast, and the colored one, other than the green, that is the chromoplast, and the last one green, that is the chloroplast. Okay, there are the three classes: leucoplast, chromoplast, and chloroplast. These are the three classification based on the presence and absence of the pigment. And in algae, there are two types: simple plasmid and complex plastid. And the proplastid is moved to the etioplast, and the proplastid is further classified into chloroplast and leucoplast, and the chromoplast is formed in the chloroplast, and the leucoplast is further classified into three: amyloplast, allyloplast, and proteinoplast. And first one, chloroplast. Chloroplast, looking to the ultrastructure, they are also double membrane, same as the mitochondria, and they contain outer membrane and the inner membrane. And the inner membrane is the specific ions transport only, and rich in proteins. There's the outer membranes pores are specific for some ions, and stroma present in the inner membrane space. And there are the structure of stroma, some of the structures stroma is present in the inner membrane space, and the dark reaction is take place in the stroma. And and non-membranous multi-enzyme complex associated with the stroma. And the grana is the light reaction will take place, and uh, between the outer and inner membrane there is a periplastidial space. And then the thylakoids are the double layered membrane chlorophyll are present in the thylakoid. Looking through the structure, there is the outer membrane. This is the outer membrane of the chloroplast, and there is the inner membrane. These are the two membranes, and uh, between this inner membrane and the outer membrane they contain the inner membrane space. And there is grana. This the single structure of the coin like structure, This is known as grana, and the grana is uh, arranged in a coin manner, and this complex, the this is known as granum, and this is the stroma, and the connection between the granum and the uh, another granum, there is a connection that is known as stroma lamella. And okay, and the thylakoid, double layered membrane, chlorophyll are present, and the small thylakoids are stocked over one another in the order to rise grana lamella, and the larger thylakoid connect the grana and known as the integral lamella or stroma lamella, and this is the stroma lamella, the connection. And the second one is leucoplast. Leucoplast is uh, no visible pigment, and most important one is the chloroplast. And uh, okay, leucoplast, come to the leucoplast, it is now visible pigments and involved in the synthesis and storage of various kind of carbohydrate. So it is stored uh, many type of carbohydrate. And the leucoplast is further classified into three: amyloplast, eleoplast, and aleuroplast. And the first one, amyloplast, it is synthesis and storage of starch. So synthesis and storage of the starch is take place in the amyloplast. And aleuroplast, synthesis and storage of oil. Aleuroplast, synthesis and storage of the protein granules. And most important one is amyloplast. In containing these three of the classes, it is most important in the amyloplast, and they contain fewer lamellae. Fewer lamellae is contained, and but in the presence of the light, they can build up the thylakoid structure found in chloroplast. The this type of structure is uh, take place in the amyloplast in the presence of the light. Okay, then the last one is chromoplast. Chromoplast, the pigment having colors other than the green. There is a red, and another type of the another than the green. This type of pigment include the chromoplast, and the presence of flowers definitely serve in the attracting the insect. These are helping to the pollination and propagation. Okay, these are the chromoplast that is present in the flowers for the attraction of insect. And the functions. The functions of the plastids are the photosynthesis and provision of oxygen supply. Then starch storage. The one of the uh, leucoplast, the amyloplast. The amyloplast is very important. Their synthesis and storage of the starch, and these are the major function also. Starch storage and utilization of CO2. Utilize the CO2 and the lipid storage, protein synthesis. Okay, these are the functions. These are the functions of co- plastids. And plastids are three types. Uh, these are the based on the presence and absence of pigment is leucoplast, chromoplast, and chloroplast. And the uh, leucoplast is further classified into three: amyloplast, eleoplast, and aleuroplast. And these are the important functions of plastids. Thank you.